In the heart of stillness, there's a call to find a journey of spirit, a path redefined. Gabriel and serenity. Showing us yoga is more than we say. It's beyond the mat, it's within the soul. A practice of purpose to make us whole. With every breath, every mindful release, we find ourselves, we find our peace. We find our peace. Guided by wisdom, rooted in grace, building a life in a sacred space. A promise to heal, to grow and to lead for ourselves and others in each quiet need. It's beyond the mat, it's within the soul. A practice of purpose to make us whole. With every breath, every mindful release, we find ourselves, we find our peace. In every posture, in every pose, the light inside us steadily grows. Gabriel and serenity walk by our side, helping us find our way and our pride. Our peace. We find our peace. Our peace. Yoga Marga, a path to ignite with gaze of purpose to make us whole. With every breath, every mindful release, we find ourselves, we find our peace. Guided by wisdom, rooted in grace, building a life in a sacred space. A promise to heal, to grow and to lead for ourselves and others.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar masterclass. All right. And just checking in, babe, can you hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So welcome, everyone. Really excited. My name is Gab, and I'll be guiding you through our webinar today. And just type it in the chat for me. Where are you calling from? Where are you coming from? Where are you tuning in from? Just so we can get an idea of who's here. So type it in the chat. What city are you from? Where are you joining us from? All right. Now, today, I'm really excited to show you exactly what it is that we're going to be walking through over the next hour and a half. How to teach yoga online and make a great living for new and experienced wellness professionals. Now, I'm going to be covering a lot of information. I'm going to be showering you with so much love and sharing all the things that we do at our school and the ways in which it's going to help you get started with teaching yoga online. So again, type it in the chat if you are already teaching yoga, or maybe you're a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, or maybe you work in some sort of corporate field and you like to transition into teaching yoga full-time online. So if that's you, type it in the chat and let me know. All right, cool. So how to make a great living and start teaching yoga online. So before we get started, I want you to remember that it's always important to say yes and do your best, right? Let's take a moment to pause. So wherever you are, just take a moment to give yourself permission to be fully here. This is an encouragement for you to turn off your phones or put your phones on silent. This is a moment to get rid of all the distractions in your environment. If you don't have a pen and paper handy already, go ahead and grab that now so you can take notes throughout this webinar. And at the end of this masterclass, I'm going to create a little space for Q&A. So if you do have any questions, just save them until the end, and then we'll get started. Cool? Now, in our school, we really challenge our students to think differently, to stop their old patterns, to stop their old ways of being, and to try something different. So today is a moment for us to just reflect and stop all the unconscious patterns that we're doing that are preventing us from living our truth, from being able to experience yoga at a higher level. So here's just some testimonials from some of our students. From Sasha: I love yoga, I love the school, I love learning. I'm learning so much. Here's another one. We help a lot of our students process grief, and we teach them a method for being able to understand themselves more fully. So yoga that goes beyond the mat is yoga that is not just about stretching and breathing, but it's actually a way of living. It is an ethical principles and practices that allow us to experience liberation from suffering, from day-to-day suffering. So, in May 24, I found myself amongst great people that helped me push through and started helping me pursuing my dreams. So here from Alexis, Yoga Market School helped me create inner peace, gave me a lot of confidence to feel. It took me out of a broken place. The one-on-ones, the weekly exchanges, the universe always aligned for us with the perfect person with what we were going through. I learned discernment and healthy change that I didn't know was possible. Here we go from Rashawn. My experience was eye-opening. I can even say enlightening. I faced a lot of what I thought I couldn't face and progressed in many layers of myself in just a few days. And it's going great. I love how they guide us and they're so supportive in our journey and see us all the way. I think it helps everyone. So I could keep going with testimonials, but let's go ahead and get started. My intention with this masterclass. So I'm going to show you the most soul-aligned and sustainable way to start teaching yoga online, even if you are not tech savvy, even if you don't have a big following, or if you're still finding your voice as a teacher. All right. So I'm going to walk you through the exact path our students use to get certified and start teaching right away, build authentic relationships with students online, and overcome imposter syndrome and start teaching from where you are. So what we share with everyone is a proven step-by-step approach to teaching, healing, and earning with integrity. Okay. During this masterclass, you're going to learn why most yoga teachers stay broke and the secret shift that changes everything. You're going to learn how to land your first private client in a day without ads or without a big following. And you're going to learn our proven method for delivering results. And if you stay until the end, I'm going to send you the What Are You Tolerating self-reflection assessment. So oftentimes we don't recognize that what we're tolerating in our lives is not what we're choosing. And a big element of a process of self-discovery is recognizing at what parts in our life are we not at choice. So if there's any aspect of us that are in our lives where we're tolerating, then there's a choice that we're not making for ourselves. So the self-reflection assessment is an opportunity for you to be able to understand that more clearly. Cool. And I'm going to share that with you that at the end of this masterclass. Okay, so who is this for? This is for yogis who want to go beyond poses, healers that are tired of the hustle, conscious creatives that are ready to share their gifts, and corporate executives who want to teach yoga online. Now, who is this masterclass not for? This masterclass is not for you if you're looking for just a quick fix. If you're resistant to trying new things and experimenting and trying something different, this is not going to be your cup of tea. And anyone looking to avoid or bypass the inner work. As a student and as a guide, we're only able to meet others with the depth that we've met ourselves. So if you're not willing or able to confront the elements of yourself that might be holding you back, that might be perpetuating the circumstances that you may or may not be experiencing, then this is probably not going to be for you. And then last but not least, this is not for people that are unwilling to invest in their growth. And when we talk about investing, we're not just talking about money, we're also talking about energy, time, resources. So this is really for people that want to make a change and are willing to put in the work. All right. And then just checking in, I'm seeing some questions coming in through the Q&A. Is the camera supposed to be working? Also, my chat says it's disabled. Okay, thank you for that. We can use the Q&A then if you have any questions. I'm going to leave and try to rejoin from another link, different email. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. You're not going to be able to see your cameras, everyone. If you're wondering where your camera is, you're not going to be able to see your camera with the settings. And then for now, if you do have any questions, you can type it into the chat. All right. And like I said, we're going to have a section for Q&A. I'll address all the questions once we get to the end. So your facilitators today, My name is Gabriel Galindo, and my partner, Serenity Tedesco, we are the co-founders of Yoga Marga School. Serenity's here right now helping me in the background, helping me with tech, and we're here to guide and inspire yogis embarking on a spiritual path. So everything that we do is in service to that mission. And sometimes that looks like facilitating deep healing work and retreats. Sometimes that's through different courses and programs, online teachings, and sometimes it's through helping people make a decent living online, teaching yoga and sharing their gifts. All right. So here is my beloved Serenity. Serenity has been a yogi for a long time, comes from a generation of yogis. She also has a master's degree in yoga studies and is an ordained Zen priest. So there she is at the bottom right, getting ordained by our teacher, Reverend Dr. Jung May Park. So you just get a sense of who she is. And just a brief introduction from me, guys. My name is Gabriel. My friends call me Gab. I am the founder of Yoga Marga School. I am a yoga teacher with over 10,000 hours of teaching in person and online. And I've helped certify literally hundreds of yoga teachers all throughout Los Angeles. I'm also a hypnotherapist, a meditation teacher, spiritual mentor, and a business educator. So really quickly, some of you might know us. Maybe you followed us on Instagram. Maybe you're already part of our school and you're here joining us as well. Or maybe this is your first time just even seeing who we are. So I'm going to tell you a little story of where we came from and how it is that we're here talking to you now. So this is my journey from burnout to empowered yoga teacher. Now, after I left the military in 2017, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to put bombs on jets. And I felt compelled to want to do something that made the world better. And I wanted to rectify the karma of just the life that I'd lived and the experiences that I'd had. So I became obsessed with yoga in around 2017, 2018. It just really was a huge catalyst for like my spiritual journey. And I would show up to these yoga classes. And at first it was really about the physical practice, right? It was about the stretching and it was about sweating. And I really enjoyed how it felt in my body to practice yoga. But then something started happening where I would leave these classes, not just drenched in sweat, but just tears coming down from my eyes. And I didn't understand what was happening. And it took years for me to actually found teachers that helped me understand what was happening. You see, the physical postures of yoga, the physical practice of yoga is an incredible mechanism for being able to process trauma. So there was a lot of PTSD, trauma, things that happened in my childhood that I didn't realize was coming to the surface in these classes. So yoga became an incredibly powerful way for me to be able to reconnect with myself and these parts of myself that I had shoved to the side or just ignored. And it was an incredibly profound experience. And all I wanted to do was share that with people. All I wanted to do was teach. So I started teaching full time. And even though teaching was incredibly fulfilling for me personally, it wasn't very fulfilling for my bank account. When I started teaching, at least back in the day, I believe the minimum wage at the time for yoga teachers or the industry standard was like $14, $15. So I would go from studio to studio, bouncing between subbing classes and picking up classes and teaching on the schedule. At one point, I was working at 5 or 6 different yoga studios just to be able to make enough hours and to teach enough classes to pay my bills. So it was really, really challenging to be able to keep up with that many classes throughout the week. So the unsustainable cycle of studio teaching. Yeah. If maybe you're here and you have been teaching yoga, so you probably understand that when you start teaching yoga, you're not just given 10 classes per week, right? You have to prove yourself. You have to be on the sub list. You have to pick up classes for other more established teachers. You have to cover for other people. So that meant my schedule was really unstable. And that meant that it was really challenging for me to be able to maintain and keep up with my own personal practice. So after a while, I got the opportunity to work in studio management. So I learned how to run a yoga business. I ran one of the most profitable hot yoga studios in Los Angeles. And I learned a lot. I learned how to hire teachers, train teachers. I led teacher trainings. I learned sales and operations. I did all of that stuff. And while, again, that felt great, I was making more money. I was also overworked and underappreciated because it was a salaried position. And maybe some of you are incorporated or working salaried positions now. You know that the job has to get done. And in order for me to do my job, it was taking me so much time. I was burning out every single week. And now instead of being in the studio, taking classes again, here I was now glued to the back of the computer, glued in my office, trying to keep the show running, keeping the studio running. So after almost a year of doing this, I decided that I didn't want to live in that model. And I realized that, in as long as I was an employee working for somebody else, I was going to be replaceable. So long as there is someone that is willing to do the work that you are doing at a lower rate, you're probably replaceable as well. And I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like that I was pouring so much of my love, my attention, my care into this space, and I wasn't being compensated for that fairly. And when I brought up those concerns, it just fell on deaf ears. So I knew there had to be a better way. And that's the moment that everything changed. Around that time is when Serenity and I decided to invest in our first business coach and our first business mentor. And it was the most expensive thing I had ever paid for in my life up until that moment. And I had no idea how we were going to pull it off, but we decided to say yes and do our best. And in the first week of us implementing the things that our mentor taught us, we made $16,000 for our yoga retreat. So here's a little video of our retreat. This was Mystic Metamorphosis, and this was 2 years ago, our first yoga retreat that we did together. And mind you, we spent months and months trying to promote this event, trying to find people to come and attend and join us, and had no luck until we met our mentor and until we followed the principles that he taught us. So we were only able to do this once we had that kind of support. And some of the things that you're going to learn today are things that we learned from our mentor as well. Cool. So a couple of other pictures of our retreat, coming together, meditating together, doing workshops, interpersonal workshops, learning how to understand yoga beyond the mat. Cool. I believe all of this happened because every day I imagined what my life would be like and what life would look like if I was able to truly live my dream. See, all I wanted to do was teach yoga. I didn't really care to work in an office or to be a studio director or any of that. I really just wanted to teach. And I also wanted to be able to pay my bills. And it really bothered me that even some of my teachers and my mentors in the yoga space would tell me that yoga is not something that you do to make money, or it's an unsustainable way to live. And I just could not accept that. I couldn't imagine that people that are out in the world, not just yoga teachers, but massage therapists, case workers, people that are actively wanting to make the world a better place. I couldn't accept that these people are just at the bottom of the barrel, and the people that do the highest amount of damage to the world are just making so much. So that to me, it just didn't sit right with me. And I really wanted to imagine a life where like I wasn't constrained to working side jobs or side gigs or working in an office and then doing yoga part-time. I really wanted to envision and I wanted to see what would it be like for me to be able to work from home or to work from my laptop, to be able to travel, to go on retreats, to take teacher trainings myself in other countries and be able to experience that. And ultimately, what I realized is that in order to be able to live a life of purpose and prosperity, I needed to come into alignment with my thoughts, my words, and my actions. So today, this is an invitation for you to do the same. What would it look like for you to be able to live your dream life? Now, I don't want you to think that this was only possible for me. This is something that we've been able to do with our students, with dozens of students over the years. And it's also a transformation that we've seen ourselves in other containers that we've been a part of. We've seen so many people be able to benefit and be able to pull this off and do the thing that they love to do at a higher level. So here's some pictures of some of our students and members of our community in our retreats and our events that we do here at a temple in Escondido. And this is a video of one of our students, Brenda, in India. Um, you know, and then here's a video of, or a picture of our student Lucy teaching yoga to school students as well. As part of her, one of her graduation assignments from our yoga teacher training program was to do a service project and to share yoga and to tell us about that. So there she is doing that. And here's another one of our students, Stacy. I just wrote my second book and it went live. So really what we help people is be able to find alignment. What is the dream that they have for themselves and how do we help them catalyze that and make that happen in their lives? Cool. And then here's a video of one of our students, Devin, teaching students from his apartment in New York. So helping you get started. That's the biggest part of what we're doing here. Okay. Now, so fast forward to today, I and a group of students have refined this process. And this process is what we're going to share with you today. We're going to show you an excerpt of what it is that we do with our students. Okay. So I want you to take a moment to imagine. Imagine what it would be like if you could make a great living doing what you love and if you can work from anywhere. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started. Secret number one. Why most yoga teachers stay broke, and the secret shift that changes everything. I want to present to you the idea of the hustling healer and the conscious creator. The hustling healer is someone that teaches 10 plus classes per week just to get by. And maybe you're, like I said, a massage therapist or a hairstylist, or you're just working with clients on a one-on-one basis multiple times just to be able to get by. The hustling healer is constantly swapping time for money, is afraid to raise prices, or feels trapped in donation-based or studio-led models, feels invisible or unsure how to start, is always learning but rarely earning. And I want you to think, what if there was another way? What would that other way look like? And that's when we step into the conscious creator. The conscious creator has fewer clients, but earns way more. The conscious creator receives just as much as they give. The conscious creator also charges from a place of worth, clarity, and confidence. He also, or she, or they also create real transformation and receive abundance in return. And lastly, the conscious creator builds an online community rooted in spiritual values. So I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, how can I become the conscious creator of my life? Okay, and it looks like the chat is working now. Okay. Okay, no, it looks like it's not. Can you still hear me though? All right. Anyway, moving on. Luckily for you, I'm going to tell you right now the step-by-step process to being able to make this happen. The first secret is that you need to charge your worth. When you charge your worth, you're able to change lives, including your own. Raising your prices leads to greater impact. And what we're talking about here is high ticket. Having a high ticket offer equals deep transformation. When you have a high ticket offer and when you raise your prices and charge your worth, you have fewer clients and you get greater results. You have more space and you feel less stressed. And ultimately, your wisdom is finally valued. The things that you have to share are finally valued for what it is, the healing gift that it is that you're giving to your students. So single sessions, $80 to $200 an hour. A lot of yoga teachers and again, wellness practitioners of different kinds, this is where they average, right? They start and they're about $80 to $200 per session or per hour. Now, as you can see, some people might think that this is a great model, but this is actually the old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is our one-on-one yogic coaching method. We're going to explain that in just a moment. And I want you to guide you through, do some math here. Not my strong suit, but let's give it a try. Most people don't realize how easy it actually is to make $10,000 a month with our one-on-one yogic coaching method. So just as a hypothetical, let's imagine that you were charging $3,000 to work with someone one-on-one. And let's make that the new industry standard for yoga teachers. If you only had one private client, and let's say with that one client, you meet with them once per week for about 1 hour. And this is where you offer either private yoga or your private sessions, whatever your services. Maybe you're a coach as well. You would provide your services once per week, right? For 4 hours a month, right? That's when we're meeting once per week. That's $3,000. And now this scales really quickly, right? If you have 2 clients, it's only 8 hours of your time for 6,000. 3, 12 hours, 8. Just wanted to highlight this, that you don't need that many clients before this scales really quickly. And just a quick show of hands, when was the last time you made $15,000 for just 20 hours of teaching yoga or coaching? Now, when you think about the fact that some people will pay for a deposit and do monthly plans and all these other things, it begins to compound really quickly because your monthly recurring revenue is going up as you're continuing to find more and more students. So here's kind of like the lay of the land, right? One path pays the bills. The other one builds the life you were meant for. Most people are stuck in the 9-to-5 loop with an income on average of $66,622 per year. That's like the US average for 9-to-5 workers. You're working probably 40 plus hours per week, about 2,080 hours per year. And you're feeling stagnant, it's predictable, it's draining, and the average return on investment is about $32 an hour before taxes. And that's on the high end of a 9-to-5 job, maybe like in a corporate field. The hustling healer, on the other hand, they're making $80 to $200 per session, but the reality is that it's still very inconsistent. You're still trading your time for money. Some months you're doing really well, other months you're not. It kind of goes by with the seasons. And you're still driving across town. You're probably going to meet your clients in person, or you're going to a studio or a salon to be able to do your work. And you're feeling hopeful, you're doing what you love, yeah, but you're still feeling burnt out. The invitation and the challenge for everyone here is this: to become the conscious creator of your life. Means that now your income is about 3 to 10K per client. You can make 10K with just one student if you have the right kind of offer. And later on, at the end of this masterclass, I'm going to show you what kind of offer you can create that is going to actually be able to charge those kinds of prices. The conscious creator also creates deep transformation. So again, because you're not working with 50, 60, 70 students at a time, you're working with 1 to 5 to 10 students at a time. You're able to give them more attention and help and guide them more deeply. You're only working with each client maybe 2 to 5 hours per month, and you're feeling grounded, expansive, free. You have more freedom, not just in your time, but also location freedom. Because you can work from your laptop, you can teach from anywhere. You can go on vacation, you can go see your family, you can spend more time at home and not have to travel and commute. So one of the most important things that we do at our school is deconditioning the mind from corporate yoga standards. The reason why most yoga teachers are broke is because we have created a system where we incentivize these big corporate types of yoga spaces to charge a huge amount of money for memberships and for access to a space. And we've incentivized them to pay their employees and their students the least amount possible. And because yoga teachers are deeply passionate and care about teaching, they will make that sacrifice. They will say, yes, I will teach for $15 an hour because I really just love teaching. So this model is keeping us stuck. So this is what we're aiming to break. Secret number 2, how to land your first private client in a day without ads or a big following. A lot of people think that they need to have results first before they can book their first private client. And while it's just not gonna lie, it's actually incredibly helpful to have testimonials and reviews and all of these things from your students. It's actually very easy to get started finding your first client. And I'm gonna show you how. You can land clients easily by presenting yourself as a curious student. So this is something that I learned from one of my mentors. And the idea of the curious student is this. It's very easy to find someone that is willing to try your online yoga classes, especially if you know something that they don't. And if you've already received a yoga teacher training certification, or if you've received a coaching certification, or you've developed your skills in some capacity, odds are you know something that somebody doesn't that someone can benefit from. And the invitation is this: offer a free trial run, free of charge. Most people are incredibly health conscious these days. They're either actively trying to lose weight or become more flexible or address some sort of health concern, or they're already in shape, but they want to like supplement their workouts or their things with more body awareness, either stretching, breathing, understanding themselves. Now, yoga is way more than this, but that means that in the consciousness of the clients that you could potentially talk to, they're already going to be open and receptive to this idea. So if you do this thing that I'm about to show you, this secret, you're going to be surprised at the responses and what you're going to get as a result. So I want everyone in this call right now, and yes, I'm talking to you right now, pull out your phone. I want you to go to your social media platform of choice, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever channels you use, and I want you to post this. I'm currently learning how to teach yoga online. Before I start charging, I need to find someone willing to let me experiment with what I have learned. I won't charge anything. And what you're going to, the reason why you're going to do this is that you're going to just put the feelers out there, just see what's out and what's available for people. Okay. And you're going to see, like I said before, more than likely, people are going to be very excited. And I think you're going to be surprised at how many people are going to reach out. The beautiful thing about this model is that there's literally no risk because you're presenting yourself as a student and because you're not making a promise of an outcome. There is literally no risk. So if you work with someone, let's say you decide to do this for 1 month and you just uh, do a case study, a trial with someone, and you do 4 sessions for 1 month, once a week. If they get the success that they're looking for, maybe you help them lose weight or you help them find some more peace and equanimity in their life. They just get to experience what it is that you do. If they get success, then you can ask for the sale. And that's the easiest sell in the world because now you two have already worked together for a month. They're already convinced that you can deliver the goods. So it becomes easy peasy. And if there is no success, no problem, right? Because there was no promise being made. There was no exchange being made beforehand. The beautiful thing about this is that even if they don't get the success, or let's say they don't sign up to work with you, they can still give you a review and more than likely they will. So chances are you know someone who has actually been thinking about ways to improve their physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Also, every single person out there, 10 to 20% of people in the audience, in your audience, want the best you can provide, not the cheapest. So if you have at least 100 followers on your Instagram, on your social media platforms, on anything, I guarantee you probably have at least 100 friends on Facebook. 10 to 20% of them really are premium buyers. That means that they want to have the best possible option. They don't want what everybody else is getting. They would pay high ticket for something that's more exclusive. Now, at this point, some of you might need to leave. I think I saw it on the chat that some of you needed to go or in the Q&A, and some people were asking about the recording. If you do have any questions, I want you to book a call with me. So let me put this in the chat. Now, I don't have a lot of space available in my calendar. I've had so many people reach out for to learn more about our school. But if you're interested, I'm going to send you everything that you need to be able to book that call. Okay, yeah, that's right. For some reason, our chat function isn't working. So what I'm going to do, if you're interested, I will send you a follow-up. I'm going to send an email with the link to be able to book the call. All right. So So now, this is the point where some of you might have some questions. So let's check the chat and see any questions that have come up so far. Anonymous attendee said, I love the idea of working with private clients, but this model looks like it could be slippery slope and restricting access from lower standard income practitioners. How do we avoid becoming a teacher who only serves a small group of wealthier individuals? That's an incredible question. And we actually address this in the next section. The biggest thing that you want to realize is that a misconception is that if I charge higher prices, I won't be able to serve people that can't afford that. And that's actually not true. If you're charging higher prices, now you have more resources and more bandwidth to be able to serve more people. And one of the things that we guide our students through is learning how to create an online community, either a free or low cost community, where now you're able to help those people that won't be able to access your offerings. Instead of trading your time for money, you'll be able to do that directly. So that's not a problem at all. That's exactly what we teach our students to do, is how to help people. The thing is, we don't have to compromise our values and or what we need to be able to sustain ourselves in order to do that. We can actually pour from a full cup rather than pouring from an empty cup. Okay, so much to cover, you guys. Don't have a lot of time, so let me push through and then we'll save the Q&A at the end. Secret number 3, our proven method to deliver results. Okay, so I am about to show you a video of someone that has had their life significantly changed as a result of yoga. So give me 1 second. Let me set this up for you.
What are you doing? Sent me those first 2 pictures on with the knee braces, the back brace, the canes, 297 pounds, and his belly was out to here. And I was thinking, God, how am I going to help that guy? When you get what you want, not what you need. When you feel so tired, you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. Tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be well?
It's much weight that if I don't hold these up, they'll fall, and I'm not gonna do that right now. But I'm really pleased with this. And I just want to share this with everybody. Thanks a lot. Below. You're too in love to let it go. Never try, you'll never know. Here's where I'm at now. What you wear. You know, I'll be able to do it someday. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will try to fix you.
All right. How do we feel about that, gang? It's really profound. You know, oftentimes we have a tendency, or I've seen this happen before, where there's a tendency to trivialize like what it is that we do when it comes to yoga. And it's really profound. It's really profound to be able to help people in a very direct way and to help them change their lives. And that's exactly what we do here at Yoga Marga School. So now, how do I get back to my screen? Y'all stand by 1 second. Okay, here we go. Back to the show. So what are clients really paying for? And I want you to ask yourself, in that video that we just watched, what do you think this man is paying for? Is he paying for poses? Is he paying to be sweaty in a room? Real transformation, that's what he's actually paying for. That's what clients and that's what students and that's what the world really needs. People want to improve their daily lives and solve real problems. So this is the method that we use to be able to catalyze lasting change and transformation in our students' lives. And this is what you're going to learn in our school. We call it the RISE method. So You start first with radical empathy, right? So when it comes to a man like this who has so many limitations and has so many things that he's struggling with, we want to be incredibly empathetic with his situation and be able to offer a practice of yoga or whatever modality it is that you're using that is actually going to be able to help him where he's at, to meet people where they're at. The next step is radical imagination. 15 years of doctors telling this man that he would never walk again. And what he needed more than just handstands and headstands at that time was someone that believed that it was possible for him to walk again, that it was possible for him to do yoga again, that it was possible for him to be able to receive the help that he needed to alleviate his suffering. People need hope in this world, especially nowadays with so many things happening. And now more than ever, people need to be inspired and to know that there's a better way. And there is. And then we shower people with service, right? Creating offers and creating a structure for your students to be able to actually receive the transformation that they know that is possible. And then lastly, expansion of consciousness, right? Let's not forget that yoga is not just about the physical body, but it is also about all the dimensions of our body coming into alignment, right? Expanding what we think is possible. When we lose 140 pounds in 10 months, that completely changes who you are, not just physically, but mentally. Your whole outlook on life is different. So that's what's possible. And this is the specific method that we use to be able to create transformation in our students' lives. And this is the same method that we teach our students to be able to do with their own students. Okay, so let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. What we've covered today was secret number 1, why most yoga teachers stay broke, and the secret shift that makes everything possible, which is high ticket sales. Secret number 2 is how to land your first private client in a day without ads or without a big following. Position yourself as the student. And secret number 3 is our proven method for delivering results. So at this point, you have really 2 options. Option number 1 is you can try and go and do all of the stuff that we showed you on your own without any help. Or option number 2 is that you can get it right the first time with a customized step-by-step plan and a supportive community to grow with. Now, if you chose option number 2, that's a smart decision, and I'm going to share with you why. First of all, it's just going to be easier and faster, and you're going to be more successful to be able to receive some help. And you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to figure out your marketing. You don't have to figure out what kinds of classes to teach or how to teach, what common populations to teach. We guide you through a step-by-step process on how to do that. And you get to learn that with our community of yogis and spiritual entrepreneurs that are doing the exact same thing. Now, here's the truth. Most people that join programs, they learn the steps, they hit a single bump in the road, and then they just give up. So why is that? Why is it that so many people sign up for trainings and just never do anything with them? The reason for that is because of their environment. Their friends, their family cannot understand what they're trying to do. They doubt them, and they're usually not supportive. Success thrives in an environment of support, and it withers and dies in an environment without it. So, and personally, I know what that's like because I spent years in environments that just did not align with how I wanted to be. I was always either the black sheep of the family or the odd man out, or just did not really fit into the mold of the kinds of spaces where I found. And when I decided to dedicate my life to yoga, there was no one in my life at that time that I could relate to, that I could speak about those things, because most people in my life were just not interested in those things, or just didn't really understand why I would want to do something like that. So what you need is an environment of people that speak the same language and have the same mission as you. An environment of other yogis and, like I said, spiritual entrepreneurs that are actively working on making their dreams a reality. Specifically, if that dream is helping other people in whatever capacity that is. And that's exactly why we created the Yoga Marga School community. So in our Yoga Marga School community, you're going to meet dozens of yogis and spiritual entrepreneurs just like you that are looking to improve their lives and the lives of their students. If you want to be more knowledgeable than 90% of yoga teachers in the United States, you want to pay attention to this. Welcome to Yoga Path Mastery. So I went from feeling completely unfulfilled in my 9 to 5 job to living a yogic life of purpose, depth, and a loving community. And this 4-step formula is how we did it. We call it Yoga Path Mastery. It's our secret ingredient for personalized one-on-one mentorship and lasting change. The 4-step formula is something that you're going to find inside of our school. And I just want to say that when we're talking about living a yogic life, I literally went from, like I said, working odd jobs, trying to make yoga a full-time gig, teaching all over the place, to now running my own school, my own temple, living in the home of my dreams with my dream partner, and really having a constantly growing school. So that didn't take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We did that in about 2 years. So I'm going to show you exactly what it is that we do to help people create that kind of transformation for themselves. Most yoga schools focus on certifications. Yoga Marga focuses on mastery. So what do we mean by mastery? What's the difference? You might be saying, Gab, what are you talking about? What's the difference between just taking a certification and entering into a path of mastery? I'm going to show you. In our school, we start with healing ourselves so that we can experience and we can teach from direct experience. Certification means that you've completed a training program. Mastery means that you've embodied these teachings in body, speech, and mind. Mastery means that your very being is the teaching that inspires transformation. So while most traditional yoga teacher training programs in the United States are about 1 month or 2 months, and you just meet on the weekends for a couple of hours and then you practice and just regurgitate poses, in our school, our program is 6 months long, 6 months to a year. And the reason why it's that way is because we create a platform for you to be able to practice and continue to get better and better and continue to receive feedback on the ways in which you teach, on your personal practice, on your offers, on the ways you teach other students. So you're constantly getting a container where you get to keep refining your skills. So here, if you can see this on the left-hand side, experience, right? Most yoga schools, most yoga teacher training programs focus heavily on experience, right? They teach you how to guide people through asana, how to build a bomb playlist, how to guide a group of students through an experience that they call yoga, and then have a great time. And then some of these yoga teacher trainings, they might teach you a little bit of wisdom, right? They'll have like an hour module for philosophy or for history. Maybe some of you come from those teacher training programs where the asana and the physical practice was like 90%. And then when we talked about philosophy and history, it was about this much, right? So very little on the side of wisdom and almost virtually no conversations around strategy, around business, around how to make yoga like a profitable endeavor for you to take on. Yeah. And then lastly, compassion. Very often the idea of yoga as a means of providing a service for the world, or as a personal sadhana, as a personal practice that we do to be able to help others as a spiritual practice, is not even talked about or mentioned. And then on the flip side of that, let's say you're a yoga teacher and maybe you're looking for a business coach or a business strategy. You're going to find all the strategies, all the tips, all the tricks from coaches and agencies, but they don't really understand the experience that you're creating. They don't really understand yoga because oftentimes they're not yogis themselves. And they definitely don't have an understanding of the wisdom that you're trying to share. There's a gap between what they think is service and what it is that you're wanting to do with your students, this transformation that you're wishing to catalyze. So at Yoga Marga School, all of these pillars are important. You're going to learn how to guide people through group classes and safely guide them through different asanas and postures and pranayama, breath work. You're going to learn all of that, but you're also going to learn where these wisdom traditions come from. You're going to learn history, Sanskrit, deeper involvement into the tradition, the roots of these traditions, the different yogas that exist. You're going to learn business strategies and you're going to learn ways in which you can make this a viable income for yourself and for you to provide for your family. And we're going to learn about compassion and using our practice and our offerings as seva, as service. These are Sanskrit terms. So let's take a moment, everyone, and I want you to just imagine Imagine getting back into a regular practice of yoga every morning and practicing with a community from home. Imagine learning about hypnotherapy and different forms of treating the subconscious mind. Imagine coming to retreats in person, having the weekly introspective group classes. What would it feel like to be able to start right away learning and deepening your studies in yoga? Well, that's exactly what we created at Yoga Marga School. Our school platform, you can ask questions 24/7. You can get feedback on your classes and your personal practice. You're going to make lifelong friends, and you're going to get emotional support whenever you feel frustrated. So let's take a quick look inside of the community. So here we have, this is a screenshot of like what the community looks like, the back end, right? So you can post questions, people share any insights, questions that they might have, announcements, celebrating their wins, feedback. Here are access to our online school platform and wisdom library, complete access to course materials, recordings. The cool thing about this is that you can do this while you keep your job. So maybe you're working 40 hours per week and you're asking yourself, Gab, like, I don't know if I have the time to do something like this. That's not a problem because you get to learn at your own pace. That's part of the reason why we structure our programs within 6 months to a year, so that you don't have to graduate and do all of this training and cram all of the knowledge that you get from a yoga teacher training certification in 4 weekends. You literally get your time. You get to spend time with this information and really digest it and work through it, right? And you get to stay connected with an online community of fellow trainees, alumni, and mentors. So here's some of the modules that we offer at our school, right? Awaken to the Dream. You learn about asana, communication. We're doing a deep dive into Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. You get to learn from other mentors and other teachers, anatomy, pranayama, breath work. So if you ever were interested in getting a breathwork certification or becoming a breathwork coach, you're actually going to learn how to do that in our program. You're going to learn pranayama and Samkhya philosophy. So going deeper into the study of yoga. This is some of our mentors. So the cool thing about our school is that you're not just learning from me, you're not just learning from Serenity, but you're actually learning from some of our teachers and our mentors. Dr. Frank Tedesco, Reverend Dr. Jungmei Park, Dr. Chris Miller, Karen Green, Dr. Karen Green, and our dear one, Daya Dada, who's also has taught classes in our school before. These are all people that have decades and decades and decades of experience. Dr. Frank is a Buddhist scholar and has dedicated his whole life to Buddhism and helping people. Same thing with Reverend Dr. Jungmei Park. He's the Archbishop of the Zen Taego Buddhist Order in the United States. Dr. Chris Miller is a professor of Serenities from Loyola Marymount University. He used to be a professor at Loyola. Now he leads his own institute called Arahanta Institute, and he's given lectures at our school. So you're going to learn from multiple mentors and teachers and people that are tenured professors and other institutions as well. Now, as vital as it is for you to know what to do, it is just as important for you to understand what not to do, especially when you're working with clients or you're working with people on a one-on-one basis. So you might be asking, Gab, like, this sounds really exciting, but I'm nervous about guiding people through that. I don't want to injure people. I don't know how to do that. And that's exactly why we offer group coaching and live feedback. So now you're not just going to get pre-recorded modules. It's not just like a thing that you click and then maybe you throw it off into the side. These are actual live classes that you get to learn from a real teacher live and be able to receive feedback on the ways you teach, your sequence, all of those things. You get actual feedback, continual feedback throughout the entire year, every single week. So if you think that live feedback is something that would be helpful for you, this is the part where I say type it in the chat, but we don't have a chat right now. So just type it in our invisible chat. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like constant ability to be able to continue to improve is super important. You can't learn yoga in 4 weekends, you guys. You need consistent support. You need to be able to revisit these things. So we offer that. Now we have signature programs, and I'm going to share with those with you now, and then we'll open space for Q&A. I know some of you might have to leave really soon. Again, As every single person that's here today, you're going to receive an email with a link to book a call. Now, the first 3 people that book are going to receive some surprises. So if you are interested, you want to book your call as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, in the chat, thank you so much, Serenity. In the chat, I want you to type, I want this. Type, I want this in the Q&A, and then Serenity is going to reach out and she's going to send you the link to book the call right now. So for those of you that have to leave at the top of the hour, please feel free to just type in, I want this. We'll take your information and then Serenity is going to send you the link to be able to book the call. Otherwise, I'm going to send you an email and you're going to have that information to be able to book the call from there. Okay. For those of you that can stay for an extra maybe 20 minutes or so, I'm going to run through our programs and I'm going to share with you a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, I'll bring you in live and I'll share with you any questions that you might have. Okay. So our signature programs. So you might be saying, hey, Gab, I want to teach, but I just don't feel ready. That's exactly what we created our Yoga Marga teacher training for. So in our Yoga Marga teacher training, this is pictures from our graduation retreat, you're going to receive weekly classes and a practicum. So you're going to get to practice teaching right away from day 1. You're going to also receive our Dharma and communication training level 1. So this is improving the ways you communicate. We call this the Yoga of Communication level 1 training. Typically, that's a value of $3,900. Business of Yoga access. So I teach a weekly class called Business of Yoga where I literally answer any questions that you have about your business and I help you create a sustainable business. As you guys can tell, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff to go through. So I help you step by step every single week. You get to enter our business incubator with other yogis and entrepreneurs. And you're not just learning from me, but from all of us. We're all experimenting and trying different things. So we're exponentially growing because we're learning from each other. So you get access to that. You get access to the certification, of course. You get certified as a yoga teacher and you get access to our online platform. That's typically about $5,500. And you're going to get an in-person teaching intensive. So you're actually going to get to come here to our temple and we're going to spend 3 days learning how to do hands-on adjustments, how to teach group classes. You're going to learn how to do all of that here at the temple in Escondido in California. That's going to be included in this teacher training. So the total value of this teacher training is $18,600. Now, this price is for each one of these programs when we've sold them separately. I'm going to give you guys, for those of you that are still here, I'm going to give you a little surprise here at the end, but just know that this is the cost. This is the value of each one of these programs when we've sold them separately. Yeah. So why this matters? With your certification, you're not only be qualified to teach, but you're going to be really, really prepared. And like I said, you're going to know more than 90% of yoga teachers out in the world. Now, you might be saying to yourself, hey man, like I've already done a YTT and I didn't get much out of it. And I'll be honest, you guys, I've taken YTTs as well. I've taken plenty of them where I just felt that I was just learning the same information. You know, you can type it in the chat or in the Q&A if you've taken more than 1 200-hour teacher training and it just felt like you paid for the same thing again. I did, and I felt super disappointed. What makes our training different is that you're going to get right away Dharma sibling and peer mentorship support. So it's not just going through the same information over and over again. You actually get to learn and fill the gaps of what was missing from your previous trainings with some of our experienced yoga teachers in our staff and in our school. Now you might be saying, hey, this is cool, but I don't want to just be another yoga teacher. That's great, because for you, we have our yoga coach training program. Now, this is something that I'm super, super excited about. And our yoga coach training, what's included? In the yoga coach training, you go beyond just teaching asana to becoming a coach, a spiritual coach, a guide, a mentor that can help people with deep transformation, not just with their physical body, but with their mental and energetic bodies. So in the yoga coach training, you receive everything in the YTT, plus you're going to get yoga for mental health. So this is applying yoga into our mental health space, ways to do that. You're going to get yoga and Buddhist psychotherapy, and you're going to learn from that with Serenity. You're going to learn that with Serenity. You're going to learn with me hypnotherapy foundations and yoga nidra. So this is an introduction into hypnosis, and you'll actually learn how to use hypnosis to improve your sessions, even to improve your yoga classes. From there, you're also going to receive our sound healing training. There's so much. I wish I had just more time because I can go for hours into any one of these concepts. But yes, you're actually going to learn how to use sound and frequency and vibration to be able to create lasting healing in people's lives. And again, if you're like super excited and you just really want to know, just type in "I want this" in the Q&A. And like I mentioned, Serenity is going to send you the link to be able to book a call. Type in "I want this." If any of this sounds like something that you're like really excited about, type "I want this" in the Q&A right now. Serenity is going to send you the link. Now, you're also going to receive the Advanced Yoga Communication Level 2 training. And there's a little surprise with that, but I'm not gonna ruin that just yet. But just know that we're gonna have an incredible teacher that's going to be guiding this, someone who's world class when it comes to leading this module. And you're also going to get group, relationship, and family facilitation. This part is priceless. And one thing that is oftentimes not spoken of is the fact that when you learn how to improve your life, and you learn how to guide and teach others, it literally changes the quality of relationships that you have in your life. So we've had students that have gotten out of abusive relationships. We have students that have attracted their dream partner. We have people that have been able to make amends with their family members, with their parents, after years and years of not speaking with each other because they learned some of these principles from our school. So this is truly like priceless. And last but not least, you receive a 4-day mastermind in person. So you're going to get to come for an additional 4 days to our temple to learn these concepts and these ideas. Now, the yoga coach training is valued at $29,900. And this is when we've sold every single one of these modules and these trainings separate. Now, just really quickly, foundations of yoga, of hypnotherapy and yoga nidra, you're going to learn how to guide clients through subconscious healing, release limiting beliefs, rewire neural pathways, and support students through deep, profound internal shifts as a coach. Just wanted to explain that a little bit more deeply. There's a quote by Carl Jung that goes, "Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our life and we will call it fate." So this is a process of unearthing, not just in yourself, but in others, these unconscious patterns that exist in your life that are holding you back, that are keeping you working that 9 to 5 that you've been wanting to quit for years. This is going to allow you to understand how to let go of that. So why this matters, this certification is going to elevate you. It's going to into a transformational coach, a mentor, and a guide. It's going to empower you to help others heal on a deeper level, physical, mental, and spiritually. So what are you getting? Yeah, let's put it all together. You have access to our Yoga Marga school, the digital Sangha. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'm interested, but this is not the right time, or I don't know if this is a career shift that I want to make right now. No worries, that's totally fine. For you, go to our yoga school and type in school, SKOOL, in the chat, in the Q&A, and we'll send you the link to our Yoga Marga school. And this is only $297 a month. You get access to weekly classes. You get just a sample of all the things that we're doing together. But again, if you really want to learn and if you really want to catalyze deep transformation, then what you want to do is sign up for the yoga teacher training and the yoga coach training. So these are all the things that you're getting: weekly classes, Dharma and communication training, business of yoga, certification, 3-day in-person retreat with the yoga teacher training. It's a 6-month program for the YTT. And then for the YCT, it's a 1-year program. You get introduction into hypnotherapy foundations, sound healing, advanced communication workshops, group coaching, and the 4-day in-person mastermind. Here's another thing that sets our school apart than any other school that I've ever met. In our school, you actually get lifetime access to any of our teacher trainings. So right now, we're about to go through our 3rd cohort of our teacher training. It's starting May 26th. And there are students that are enrolled in that cohort that paid $0 because they've invested in one of the previous ones. So every single time we do a new training, a new teacher training, a new coach training, we're always making them better and better. Everything in there is really fresh. You're going to get to have access and come back year after year after year. So instead of having to pay for one teacher training over and over and over again, you literally get to come to all the ones that we're going to have in the future for life. And that is bananas. I've never seen anyone do that. Now, let's take a moment to pause for a second. If all of this did was help you significantly deepen your understanding of yoga and healing, if all it did was show you a step-by-step method for giving results safely, and if you can learn these principles and all it did was help you land one private student per month, ask yourself, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to say yes to something like this? So because a lot of you sat through this entire presentation and you're still here, those of you that are still here, I know that you're serious. I know that you really want to make this happen and you really want to make this change. So I have a very special offer for those of you that stuck around until the very end. We showed you exactly what it is that we do. These are our core offerings at our school. This is what they're valued at. For those of you that sign up today, this is what you're going to get. For the next 3 days, I only have 3 days to be able to offer this. You're going to get our yoga teacher training for $5,500 or the yoga coach training for $9,997. But wait, there's more. If you get started today, for only 3 payments of $3,997, or for 1 payment of $9,997, you're going to get access to both. So you're going to get the yoga coach training and the teacher training for just the price of one. So you're getting 2 trainings for the price of 1. And if you pay in full, you're going to save an extra $2,000 today if you get started. So let's take a moment. I just want to play this testimonial from one of our students who is actually one of our teachers as well, Joaquin. He teaches the class on Thursday evenings. Well,
I can tell you that I came here with an open heart, with a willingness and a desire to change, because I'm tired of the way that I had been living, with emotional pain, suffering, the inability to communicate effectively with people and make friends and keep them. The Mystic Metamorphosis process has taught me how to do that, how to communicate effectively, how to connect with people. I feel like I've made connections and friends for life here. And now I visualize the world a lot differently after that. The guided meditation that we did changed my entire perspective. One of our final exercises in writing something about each individual in their notebook. After having experienced them, being with them for only 4 days, I've learned so much about each individual in just that short amount of time. And to be able to share how they've touched my life, touched me in ways.
okay. So if you're still here, for the first 3 people that say yes to this and sign up today, right now, I'm going to give you these 3 exclusive bonuses. And you're going to be really, really happy that you stayed until the end once you find out what these are. Again, type in, I want this in the Q&A, and Serenity is going to send you the link to book the call. Bonus number 1. For a limited time, I'm going to offer you our Business of Yoga workbook, the Essentials for Success. So this is everything you need to get started right now, right away with your yoga business. This also applies if you don't have a yoga business, but maybe you're, like I mentioned, massage therapist, Reiki practitioner. If you're someone that has a certification and you're able to work with clients one-on-one, this is for you. In the Business of Yoga workbook, you're going to find how to create your niche, how to discover your niche, your ideal client avatar. Super important to know exactly who you want to work for. And that's going to really radically transform how easy it is to find aligned clients. We're going to offer you the service offer template. So how to build your offer, how to build a high ticket offer that people would want to pay more for, the branding strategy template, and the business structure filing guide for yoga teachers. So in the business structure filing guide for yoga teachers, we're going to tell you about insurance. What kind of business should I start? Should I do an LLC? Should I do an S Corp? All these really things that we never talk about in our yoga teacher training program. How to do that. We're going to literally teach you a step-by-step process on how to do that and give you education to get started. That's in the Business of Yoga workbook. It's valued at about $1,900. And you're going to get it completely free. Again, if you sign up today, if you're still here. Bonus number 2. For bonus number 2, you're going to receive a money block release hypnotherapy. So you're going to actually receive hypnotherapy from me. You and I are going to have a private session one-on-one. Now, as some of you are looking at these numbers and these prices, for some of you, this is a steal. You're seeing this and you're like, wow, I can't believe it's only $18,000. I can't believe it's only, $29,000 for all the things that we're doing. And now for others, that might be an astronomical number. And I'll be completely honest, you guys, about 7 years ago, $18,000 might as well have been a bajillion dollars. Like life was very different back then. So I get it. I don't come from like an affluent family. Me and my mom, just single mother living in Colombia. So I get it. I understand that some of these numbers might be very daunting for you. And just know that when there's anything that relates to money scarcity, it almost always connects to childhood trauma. And what this money block release hypnotherapy is going to do is we're going to go through a process, you and I, where we're going to discover through hypnosis every single limiting belief that you have around money, around success. And maybe you might be thinking to yourself, well, Gab, I don't have any limiting beliefs around money. I make pretty good money. And maybe you do, working at your corporate job that you hate. But when you think about doing yoga full time and teaching yoga and making an income doing something other than a traditional way, maybe there's a lot of fear and resistance there. If that's the case, then this is going to really, really transform your life because it's going to help you overcome that resistance so that you can do the thing that you're meant to do in this life. So we're going to reprogram limiting beliefs around wealth, success, financial worthiness, and we're going to learn how to shift your mindset so that you can attract abundance without guilt or fear. Same thing if you feel like charging high ticket is going to push away people that are low income or that can't afford that. That's a limiting belief because the truth is when you charge more, now you have more resources to be able to donate, to feed the homeless, to help other people, to build programs and online courses and give them away for free to people that could benefit from that. But when you're working 2 to 3 jobs, barely making ends meet, you can't help anybody. You need to help yourself first to help other people. So this is a process to rewire the subconscious mind so that you can actually attract the life that you want to attract and help people at scale. That's going to be completely free. Typically, I charge $3,900 just to do that. And by the way, guys, if any of you just want this, if you're like, hey, I just want the hypnotherapy, you can just send us an email. You can go to contact@yogamarga.school, send us a message, say that you want the money block hypnotherapy, and then I would be more than glad to help you just with hypnotherapy for $3,900. If that's all you want, just know that you're going to get that for free if you sign up for a teacher training program. So why it matters, our subconscious dictates our life, right? If we have any limiting beliefs that are holding us back, we're going to self-sabotage. So this ensures that you break free from financial ceilings and actually start thriving. And then bonus number 3, and this is really, really special. For bonus number 3, again, for only the first 3 people that sign up today, you're going to get a free ticket to our Mystic Metamorphosis retreat. It's our yoga and fall equinox ceremony. And that's happening in Escondido, September 19th through the 22nd. Now, just to give you a quick overview of what we're going to do in our time together. At our retreat, you're going to receive daily yoga, meditation, sound healings. We're going to have experiential exercises for self-discovery, guided drum circles, ecstatic dance, massage therapy, Reiki, acupuncture, delicious meals cooked by a world-class vegan chef. You're going to have access to the pool, the hot tub, hiking trails, and receive a digital detox. So you're going to actually put the phones away and the laptops away and all the devices away and actually look at other human beings without staring at your phones like we used to back in the day. Really, more than anything, it's just a beautiful time, and it's a great reset. It is a great way for you to be able to cleanse yourself and just reset for the fall. It's a 4-day in-person retreat, immersive transformational training in a high-level setting, live feedback, deep coaching, hands-on training. And again, you're going to make lifelong connections with your Dharma siblings, with members of our community. Typically, if you just want to come to the retreat, same thing. If you're like, hey, I don't want none of that stuff, but I want to join you guys for that, send us an email, contact@yogamarga.school, and then you can buy and reserve your spot. There's very limited spots, and we always give spots to our students first. So if you're interested in just this, send us an email and we'll gladly reserve your spot for $3,500. Otherwise, if you want to go for free, sign up today and you literally get a free ticket to go to our retreat. So this is just where the retreat is going to happen. Temple of One in Escondido. This is literally a picture of the hill right before when you're leaving the property. This is the backyard, living room. So plenty of spaces to lounge, some of the rooms that are available. Anyway, I wish I had more time. I can just break it all down. But let's recap. What are we talking about? So today, you have the opportunity to join our digital Sangha, our digital community. You can join Yoga Marga School for $297 a month, or you could take advantage of this crazy deal that we're doing today, and you can sign up for our teacher training or our coach training for only $9,997. And also, if you're like, hey, I can't make this commitment now, but I can do the teacher training, start there. Start there and we can always use your investment. And then once you're making money booking private clients, or once you feel more confident, or once you see what it is that we're doing, you can always use your investment and upgrade to the coach training later on. Okay. On top of that, today, if you sign up today, you get all the bonuses. You get the Business of Yoga workbook, usually at a $1,900 value. You get the Money Block Hypnotherapy for $3,900. And you get to come and join us in person live at Mystic Metamorphosis for our Equinox Fall Retreat for $3,500 value. Combined value of $9,300. You get all of it today for only 3 payments of $3,997 or 1 payment of $9,997. So again, all of that is included for just less than 10K. So again, book a call. Book a call. If you're interested, book the call. Type it in the chat, say that you're interested. By the way, when you book a call, I have a calendar. And in that calendar, there's a specific amount of slots that are available. So that means that if you wait to book a call, odds are somebody else is going to get that deal. So if you want to be one of the first 3 people to receive these bonuses, then you need to not only book the call, but book it as soon as possible, either later tonight in the evening or first thing tomorrow morning. Because my calendar is going to fill up super fast. So if you're serious, if you really want to get started, send us that message. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that are stuck around, here's the free gift. We're going to send you the What Are You Tolerating self-reflection assessment. So if you get nothing else from this training, just know that what you're tolerating is not what you're choosing. And this self-assessment is going to help you be able to unearth, again, those unconscious patterns and at least have a new level of awareness. So this alone, honestly, is life-changing. So again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I'm really, really excited to hear from all of you.
My
Here's
experience
another review.
eye-opening, and I can say you enlightening. I faced a lot of what I thought I couldn't face. I feel like I really progressed. I know I'm taking a lot of these practices that I've learned with me and going to apply to my life. I've already seen the benefits. If I'm being honest, the real feeling is that it's going to be life-changing. There's a lot of things where I can't go back. One thing I would say to someone taking
I don't know what's happening there, but let's stop it right there. Now, I promised a Q&A. So now is the time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. I'm going to take a couple of more minutes to just address some of these questions. Let's see. And if you did ask a question in the chat, just know that Serenity has been on it, answering those questions. Okay, wow. Oh my gosh. So many people are interested. I want this. I want this. I want this. So many people are booking the call. Congratulations. Congratulations, Anita. Congratulations, Anissa, Ashley, Tate, Yaneli, Trisha. What else? Who else here is booking the call? Yeah, great. Let me see if there's any questions. Anything else? Any other questions? I'm not seeing any questions on the chat. I'm not seeing anything else coming up. Never got to the chat. Yoga Rishi. Yes. our chat wasn't working today, so you have to type it as a question. I do not have the resources right now. This is my life dream, and I know I will one day. Thank you for being such an amazing teacher. Yaneli, even if you don't have the resources, go ahead and book the call because there might be something we can do for you. We do have scholarships as well. And then Yoga Rishi, again, if you do have any questions, I'm going to send an email to everyone. Thank you everyone for being understanding with the tech. It's something, this is our first time doing this masterclass. So we're just going to keep getting better and better every single time. But know that I'm going to send you an email with a recap, and then there's going to be a link to order. I will say this though, if you wait for the email to be able to book your call, you're going to miss out on the bonuses. If you're really serious about doing this right now, then like I said, type it in the chat. I want this, and Serenity is going to send you, Serenity is going to send you the link to book. If you've already booked your call, congratulations. That's awesome. And we'll see you very, very soon. Any other questions? And nobody has any questions. Wow, everyone's has all the answers, only answers for this group. No questions. Thank you to you, Trisha. Thank you for joining us. Yaneli, thank you for being here as well. All right, y'all. If there is no more questions, if there's nothing else, then I will be taking off. Hope you all have an incredible, incredible Saturday, and we will see you very, very soon. Don't forget to follow Yoga Marga School on Instagram at yogamarga.school. You can also check out our website, yogamarga.school, and we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you, friends.